I'm like Vin Diesel in the first Fast and the Furious movie when he's talking to Paul Walker. When
So
Paul
terrible?
Walker first, dude, you're overcooking my grits. I'll tell you that much right now. When Vin Diesel first sees Paul Walker like eyeballing his sister, he says, "You break her heart, I'll break your face."
The fact that you said I'm overcooking your grits to quoting a Vin Diesel line from the first Fast and Furious is unreal. I never thought we'd get to this point.
Welcome back to Asinine Radio, a weekly podcast where we talk about music, and, well, that's pretty much it. So, let's go!
Fucking drooling over here. All right, this is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast where every week we get into a different band, different artist. We listen to one of their records, we break it down, we get into the lyrics, music, everything we could possibly do. We learn about it, and then we break it down, tell it to all of you, and we try to have a good time doing it. If you didn't already know, my name is Tyler, and way out there, hundreds of miles away, is Jeff. While you're listening, because I know you have nothing better to do, go to Apple Podcasts, go to Spotify, give us 5 stars and 5 stars only. All the social media stuffs is at Asinine Radio. We have a Discord server. If you want to join that, hit us up. We'll send you the link. And we have a phone number you can call, leave us a voicemail, shoot us a text. The phone number is 503-893-5307.
There's a lot.
Now that we have the intro out of the way. Yeah, that is a lot. So let's jump into whatever we're doing. What are we doing today? What are we doing today, Jeff?
Whoa! We are
I'm
doing
getting
No
excited.
Doubts.
I'm excited.
We are doing No Doubts album, Rocksteady.
All right, Jeff. What's your origin story with the No Doubts?
My origin story is my mom. My mom encouraged me to buy Tragic Kingdom. I had to have been like 7, maybe 8 years old, and we went to the warehouse, and I was buying stuff. I bought like a Beach Boys best of. I remember what the Beach Boys best of looked like too. I'll try and find it as you give your origin story and tell you later on. But then she was like, "Oh, you should also buy this. This is a really cool band." Which I should talk to her about that, because did she listen to No Doubt before this? How did she know this was a really good band?
Yeah, did she go to the parties? I can see your mom going to those parties. I can see your mom going to those parties.
I will say that my stepdad's sister partied with No Doubt. No, sorry,
Okay.
scratch that. Partied with Dexter and Noodles from The Offspring, but also knew No Doubt because they had a house across the street from them in, I think it's Anaheim right now, but like a border, because Anaheim's elongated city.
Mm-hmm.
So Jackie, my step aunt, I guess. But,
Yeah.
and she's the same age as everybody from The Offspring and No Doubt. So she partied with all of them, and her big takeaway was just a lot of pot being smoked, and that's funny. I thought that was funny. But yeah, my origin story is Tragic Kingdom. My mom told me I should buy this album because it's really good, and I did, and I fucking have loved it ever since.
Fuck, okay.
Sit.
So my origin story is the song Don't Speak. I remember hearing that on the radio when it came out. What was that, 94, 95? I mean, we were 7, 8 years old, and that song just blew up. It wasn't only on K-Rock. It was also on Kiss FM, the top 40 station out here in California, or SoCal. And that's all we listened to growing up was Kiss FM. You know, every morning we listened to Kiss FM. Afternoon on the drive home, that's what we listened to. So that's where I first heard Don't Speak, and that was my introduction to No Doubt. And my mom said that she remembers back in the 80s going to like parties in Anaheim, because my mom grew up in Anaheim and Cypress, and she said that she remembers going to parties and seeing bands play in backyards, and she said she's pretty sure she's seen No Doubt in like a backyard party, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that's where Gwen Stefani's from," and she showed me the exact street that she lived on, and this is like back in the late 90s. So this isn't like, post-internet shit. Like mine was like, oh yeah, that's where they grew up. That's where Gwen Stefani grew up. And
I think
like,
it's
fuck, dude.
some street that's like right down the street from Loera High School.
It is. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
Yeah.
like it's right, like maybe not even a mile from Loera. Not even like maybe half a mile from Loera High School. Yeah, it's super close to that school. But anyway, yeah, it's our stomping grounds. Honestly, we grew up in Anaheim, Yorba Linda. That's what we did. It's where we lived. But yeah, that's my origin story. Is Don't Speak. But I didn't really get into them. I didn't really get into them until maybe like early high school when I finally like burned a copy of Tragic Kingdom, and then I really started to listen to it and get into it. And then I heard the self-titled record, and then outside of that, I never really listened to them until post high school, maybe like 07, 08, when I think you were listening to them a lot. So then I was introduced to Beacon Street, and I started listening to more of Return of Saturn. But outside of that, yeah, that's kind of my origin story. But yeah, so let's get into the album, Rocksteady. So what are your initial thoughts? I guess origin story too on this one. What do you got with Rocksteady? And then also stinkers if you got them. Go.
Oh yeah. So I don't have any stinkers. I don't think there's any stinkers on here. I think there's one song that's pretty damn close to being a stinker for me, and it's one song I've always just skipped, and I listened to it once this week. Otherwise, I skipped it because I just don't care for it. I don't care, whatever. But I've always liked this album.
What song is it?
Do you want to get into it now?
Oh, okay.
You
Well,
wait?
you don't have to get into it now. I was just.
We can do it now if you want to do it now.
No.
Let's do it now.
Continue. No,
You don't want to do it
continue.
now. Want to do it now?
I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it now.
Okay. Want to do it now.
Annoying.
So I've always liked this album. I've always thought this was better than like the singles, and just because, especially since I started working at Virgin, I got more into like the reggae stuffs. I thought this album is a little bit deeper than it was kind of like given credit for, and yeah, it sold a fuck ton of stuff, but that's because of like Hey Baby, Hella Good, and that's rightfully so. Those are pretty goddamn catchy songs, but there's a lot to this album. But then, like old No Doubt fans, well, fuck this album because there's 45 writers and they produce none of it, and there's 45 producers. Man, who gives a shit, dude? It's fine. These guys have influences and they have likes and dislikes, and they're doing something they want to do. I get it. Don't care. I don't want to hear another Tragic Kingdom because they can't replicate that. I don't want to hear another Rings of Saturn. Rings of Saturn.
Rings of Saturn.
I don't want to hear another one of the shit they've already done. I like this. I like that it's different. I like that it's pop. I don't mind pop music, especially when it's good. And this is good. I like this.
Yeah.
I'm fucking glad that this is not like your worst album. Like
Did you
I've
think
been
it was
saying,
going to be?
I don't know. I was scared. I've been saying for a while. I thought I knew you would like it because it's a good album. But I was scared that once you started looking into how many people were involved in working on this album, I thought that was going to make you like thumb your nose at it and stick your fucking, get on your high horse that you're constantly on top of and say that, oh, I hate this album because I'm surprised John Feldman actually wasn't on this album in some capacity.
Honestly, yeah, I would not have been surprised at that point. But when this album came out, I hated this record. I listened to it once when it came out. It was just I hated the singles. I hated Hey Baby. I thought it was just fucking awful. Hella Good, I just thought was just the stupidest song. It just sounded just too synthesized. It just sounded too 80s, too synth pop. I just did not like it. So a couple years after it came out, I listened to it again, and I'm like, okay. I listened to it. I listened to it after I initially listened to Gwen Stefani's for a solo record because I really liked that solo record. So I went back and listened to Rocksteady, and I still just didn't care for it. And honestly, until this last week, I had not listened to it since then, and that was like 15 years ago. Yeah. It's been like over 15 years since I listened to this record. And honestly, the only reason we're doing this record this week is because we're finishing up reggae ska season right now because we did Peter Tosh last week, and now we're finishing up with some more, ska, kind of reggae stuff. And this is kind of a last minute record too. We had no intention of doing this record ever, honestly. And this is just kind of a random thing. And I was excited. I was really excited to listen to it. And when I did listen to it this week, honestly, I was a little disappointed. I was a little disappointed on my first listen, But then going back and listening to it a couple more times, it really grew on me. And there are some fucking great things on this record. And not just the songs, but how they wrote and created the songs, which, I mean, I guess we can kind of touch upon the fact that they decided to, like, none of them decided to play their own instruments. They decided to really just kind of go for it and play keyboards and synths that they've never played before and work with sounds and noises that they've never experimented with. This is a really, really big experimental record. And with that, putting out something this catchy and poppy is very impressive. Very, very impressive. So I give him a lot of respect for that. And I don't have any stinkers on this one. The only one that comes close to a stinker is Hey Baby, which is we already played that one. I don't. That song is it's a fine pop song, but it's just very surface level. I just don't care that much for it. But it is fucking catchy as hell.
Okay.
So
It's my 3B. It's my 3B.
That is your 3B? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, so let's dive into into this song a little bit more. I mean, like I said, it's the first single. There was a video for it. I remember watching this video 100 times when it came out because it was on repeat. And the way it was filmed too, with a lot of the green screen effects, a lot of the what the best way to compare it now to is like boomerangs on Instagram. Like a lot of that, it would be playing forward and then it go play backwards for a couple seconds. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like boomerang style effects. And I remember that was very just memorable about this video. But otherwise, yeah, this song is it's kind of annoying.
I like the video. I think the video's fucking funny. It's so bonkers. It's so fucking out there. It's so stupid. I love it. I think it's funny. This was at a time when we are now like entering / in high school, and now Gwen Stefani is to our adolescent self now like an icon, right? Like
we were freshmen in high school when this album came out.
Yeah, she is now a sex symbol. So we're listening to Tragic Kingdom and thinking, oh, this is cool like music, but this comes out and we see her in these and it's just like, okay, cool. She's like somebody that's super hot and we love her. So like it's a different period for us digesting the music back then. And I hated this album too. Like I really hated this album up until I worked for Virgin, to be honest, until I was like fucking 20. Could not stand this album. I thought, oh, fucking No Doubt sold out. Fuck these guys. Then I got back into it, and I think it's obviously it's not their best, but I think there's a lot of stuff in here that is great, and I think there's a lot of stuff in here that shows that they're better than just third wave ska, and they're better than just Orange County, Tragic Kingdom. I think there's parts of this album that shows they are more mature than Tragic Kingdom, and there's parts of this album that shows they're more fun than No Doubt's No Doubt. I think there's a lot of good in this.
Oh, but for sure.
But you really gotta like you said, like you really gotta search for it. It's not superficial. Like you really gotta like try and find it. So that's I don't know.
You have to take a deep dive into
fans.
it. You gotta take a deep dive into this record to really hear a lot of the nuances because they're not used to writing music, playing these kind of instruments. A lot of the stuff can get buried, and I feel like a lot of the synth sounds and a lot of the little melodic parts are buried. But when you really kind of break it down and think about it, there's some rad shit in here. And honestly, Tony really rips it up in every song. To me, he is the highlight of this record. Him and Gwen are the highlight of this album, which makes sense considering they're the two main songwriters. But
it's not entirely fair though, because this type of music inherently is very bass driven. It's very vocal melody driven. And so like Adrian he's a fucking killer drummer. He's really, really good.
Oh, he's a great drummer, yeah.
And he's not able to do so because of the style of music. And whatever, that's fine. And for sure, like Tom Dumont has like one song on here that you're like, oh wow, I forgot they had a guitarist. And so that's not fair. But yeah, dude, like some of these bass lines are just fucking unreal. And Hey Baby's one of them, dude. I love the bass part in this.
Yeah, there are some.
I love the vocal melody. I love the drop into the chorus. The on the bicycle. Oh man, badass song.
Part too.
Dude, and then when Lady Bounty or the bounty killer, that lady comes in.
Oh, dude, that's the worst part.
It's so good. It's so good. She's a Bamf. Bamf.
Is it a bounty killer's a woman?
Yeah. I think so,
No.
right? No?
No,
No, you're right. It's not a woman. It's not a woman. That's the other one.
I was
That's the
gonna
other one.
say, oh, okay.
That's
I got
Lady
really
Saw.
scared there.
Yeah, Bounty
Okay.
Killer's dude, but Bounty Killers is this massively popular dance hall like DJ essentially, and that
Yeah,
that
yeah.
type of music, this dance hall type of music is what Hey Baby is. So I think. Again, I'm not a huge like reggae guy. I superficial.
You know
over
way
here.
more than I do, though.
But even then, like, I don't know the complete differences between. And like I know a decent amount between like ska, rocksteady, reggae, and then like other genres of like mento and calypso and other things. But there's subtle nuance that you really only can hear. And we kind of talked about it in like our chat, but you can only hear when like a full band is doing it, as opposed to just a guitarist. Like, here's a reggae riff, here's a ska riff. It's hard to pick up.
Yeah.
I like Hey Baby. It's my 3B. That's all right.
All right. So kind of a background on this record as well. So like we were, if for people who didn't listen to the album rankings episode, this comes off of their record Return of Saturn, which was still kind of like a continuation of Tragic Kingdom, which is more ska based, more rock based, some ballads and everything like that. So while they were touring on Return of Saturn, they were getting together and talking about how they should record the next record, how they should what's their mindset going into this. And they thought, okay, well, we love partying right now. You know, they're what, late 20s at this point, so they're still young. They're still in their late 20s. Nobody's really in a serious relationship besides Gwen with Gavin Rossdale.
Ugh.
I don't know why you hate Gavin Rossdale so much, but
Because he's not married to Gwen
so-
anymore. Broke her heart. That's why.
well, now she's married to Blake Shelton, right? Blake Lively.
Yeah.
Blake Shelton. Blake
Blake
Lively's
Lively?
a woman, right? Or a singer?
That's Ryan Reynolds. Wife,
She's
isn't
an
it?
actress, right? An actress,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, something like that. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, they were trying to decide, you know, what the direction for the next record, and they said, let's just kind of make this a party record. Let's relax. Let's go to Jamaica, and that's what they did. They went to Jamaica. They recorded this record. They wrote and recorded this record in Jamaica with other dancehall artists like what was his name? Bounty Killer.
Bounty Killer.
Bounty Killer, yeah. And I think Tom Dumont said in an interview that they were down there, they partied a lot, drank a lot, smoked a lot, and recorded a little bit of music. And just that quote right there was just so.
That's his album.
Yeah, it really is the sound. Like when you go into this album with that mindset, you're like, okay, I can hear all of that. Like this album is just straight up fun. Like, it didn't seem like any of them were taking themselves seriously. It didn't seem like there was any ego on any of this record. Like on Return of Saturn, you can hear a lot. It's more Gwen focused, Gwen based, but on this one, it just seemed like it was just them. It's all experimental. This album is so experimental, and I feel like nobody really talks about that. They only talk about the pop elements of it, but there's way more nuance to this record than I've ever realized until this week. And I think that's so fucking cool.
Yeah, there is. This is a record that was made by immature bandmates, right? Like, this is a record that was made by not musicians but by friends. They wanted to
Yeah.
party, and they've earned that fucking right. They toured, they made money, they've earned that right to sit back, party, and make a goofy album, and that's what this is.
I really have a newfound respect for this record and honestly this band after this week.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Do we have anything else on the background for right now, or should we move on to some
I
more
want to know.
bangers?
I want to know your fucking one beat. What is your one beat?
You ready for this one? It's Running.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
Are you kidding me? Fucking Running? That is the one song that I skip every time. I cannot stand this
Are
song.
you serious?
I cannot stand this song. Wow.
Wow.
The
Holy
song's not
shit,
good.
okay.
This this is for sure like my least favorite song. I like the melody. I just don't think it's great.
It's a top 5 No Doubt song for me.
That is you're joking my ass right now. You joking my
No,
ass
no,
right
no,
now?
no. I'm totally serious. When I first heard this song, when it came out as a single, and it was the fourth and final single, I think, off this record. And when I heard it, I just immediately loved it. I love, love, love this song. I think it's just a beautiful song. Her vocals are just sound beautiful. I love the 8-bit
Yeah.
synthesizer thing going on mixed with the acoustic guitar, and oh my god, dude, this song, they've never, much like Trapped in a Box, they've never written a song even in the same vein as this. I just think it's a beautifully composed, beautifully written and composed is the same thing, but just played and just instrumentally, I just think it's so simple and just so perfect.
Wow.
I love this song so much. I think it's amazing.
I am fucking surprised. I'm going to tell you that much right now. I don't want to hear nothing about it. I skipped this song. I listened to it once, like I said this week. Every time else I listen to this album,
Wow.
I skipped it.
I can't believe you don't.
I've never liked this song. I think
You
the
don't-
video's
you-
stupid. I don't think anything about this is good.
You don't appreciate like the 8-bit kind of video game thing going on.
Yeah, so like I literally wrote, I said the electronic parts to it were fine, nothing special. That sort of 8-bit sound is cool, but that's it.
But that's what I love, the simplicity of it. And her vocals, oh my god, her vocals are.
She has better vocals on this album. That's just silly boy talk.
Well,
right
no,
there.
she does have great vocals, other great vocals on this album. But I think the combination of those of the vocals with the music on this, it's something that shouldn't make sense, that shouldn't be good, but
I'm
they
fucking
just-
surprised.
they're great. All right, that's fine.
I can't even digest this. Honestly, I can't. I'm at a loss for words. I wrote like little lyrics. I wrote little notes on this song because I really just don't like it. And I thought for
fine. No,
sure
that's
you
fine.
wouldn't like it. The video's stupid as fuck. It's dumb.
Yeah, the video. I mean, yeah, the video's stupid.
It's trash.
So is the video for Hella Good and Underneath.
Hey, oh hey,
They're stupid videos too. Come on.
Kiki.
But anyway, we don't have to play Running. It's fine because I know.
I
you don't
mean,
wanna play. That's
we
fine.
could. I
No.
I
We
don't
don't
even
have
know.
to
I don't
play
even
it.
know. I don't even know anymore.
Don't have to play it. So let's move on. So what is your 1B?
Dude, underneath it all is my 1B.
Dude, you're
Oh my
such a
god, this song is so fucking good. I love that everyone is doing a good job, but it's really just background noise to one of Gwen's best vocal performances, in no doubt. And this is one of the songs that was co-produced by Sly and Robbie, and we talked about them last week. So the fact that like these guys know how to write a killer song with catchy and flowy and melodic rhythm section parts, but they also know how to write a song that completely supports the vocal melody. And I think that is top notch. This is a song that is great instrumentation, but it only exists to supplement Gwen's voice, because this is just a fucking killer. This is a killer performance by her. I love it. The upstrokes
I
here
agree.
are so stupid. They're so crisp. They're thrown in there, right? Just because Tom's like, "Can I do
Yeah.
something?" And they don't need to be there. They add nothing, but it's cute. Now we're reminded they are still a band. It's like the first kind of like real song we've heard thus far on the album, right? The first four tracks. It's kind of the first song that we've heard that's kind of like a band.
Yeah.
And again, kind of like in the same respect as Sly and Robbie, which I think like bass wise, fantastic. Drum wise, I don't understand like why he's so popular, but whatever. Adrian
I
Young
don't know.
throws in some of these cool hi-hat stuffs everywhere, like we did like last week. Very reminiscent of Sly Dunbar. The little faster hi-hat hits that he does, those are cool.
Yeah.
They come out of nowhere. They supplement but don't overtake. Dude, and then when Lady Saw drops in, come on.
It is really good. It is
Come
fucking
on.
awesome. I do like the song a lot. This is my 6B though. It's a B, but it's a little bit lower on the B list.
Far too low. This should be your 1B. That's fine.
Well, my 1B is Running, because Running is another song.
Oh, I cannot believe fucking Warning is your one song.
Dude, I
just don't
love
understand.
Running. I really do love that song. That song is something else. I love something else in a
think-
good way.
I think you need to go to the doctors and get your earwax fucking flushed out because you can't hear properly. Later on in this song, there's in one of the later choruses, it's just Gwen and Tom, right?
Yeah,
And then we
yeah.
can hear, this is one of like the 2, maybe 3 times on the album where Tom has a part and like, oh fuck yeah. So like one of the later choruses is just Gwen and Tom, like I said, and Tom's like low distorted guitar is fucking a total throwback to like Just a Girl in the Tragic Kingdom days.
I thought that what song I have it written down, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's this part. It's later in this song where it's just them two singing.
Was it
It's
this
like,
song?
fuck yeah, that is Tragic Kingdom, dude. Yes.
Was it? I thought no. There was another song. Maybe it was not Rock City.
There's,
it was one
there's
of the
only,
latest. Oh,
I think there's
it was
only
Platinum,
3 parts.
I think it was Platinum Blonde Life. There's parts of that song that remind me of Just a Girl. The way Tom is playing the guitar with Gwen. I think it's that song. I don't know. It doesn't matter right now. But what were you gonna say?
That's it. I
Oh.
love this song so much. I think it's one of her best vocal performances. Not just in like No Doubt, but just in general. I think
I agree. Yeah.
she's not a great singer, and she knows she's not a great singer. And she did a little like snippet with Howard Stern in one of the, you can watch it online or whatever. And she acknowledges like I'm not like that great of a singer. I have range. I can sing well. I can hold a tune. But I'm not that great. I sing things that mean something to me, and I think that like simpleness in her is also like what makes her so strong. Is because she doesn't try to do things out of her range because she doesn't want to. She doesn't need to. She's happy doing what she likes. And this
agree with
song
you
is
on
just
that.
a perfect representation of that.
I mean, and kind of throwing it back to what you were saying with Adrian, he doesn't do anything overcomplicated, but he just that groove is so fucking nice. And then Tony comes in and just locks it in just perfectly on the song. I never really listened to the rhythm section of this song until this week, and I was just like, dude, they are truly a fantastic rhythm section for any band. I mean, especially Tony. I have so much respect for that guy, not just because of No Doubt, but because of what he did with Gwen on her solo records too. I mean, when we did Gwen several months back, I had no idea that he was that involved with her first solo record, and it's fucking great. And this is another song that's excellent. And it's kind of a shame that Tom gets kind of pushed in the back of the mix, but his parts are cool. His parts are good. They add a lot of, I don't want to say nuance to the song, but
I mean, it's
importance
definitely
to the song,
it was inevitable. Ska
Yeah.
bands, they don't rely on great guitarists to drive a ska band forward. So,
and not to say
it's
he's a bad
whatever.
guitarist, because he's
No,
not a
yeah,
bad guitar
not at
player
all.
at all. And from what I was reading this week, he's the only band member who actually went to like music school. Like
Yeah.
he's the only one who understands music theory, and I thought that was just so interesting. That and I read too that Tom said in an interview that he's always been blown away by Eric Stefani, because the guy was kind of self-taught. He knew nothing really about music, but he was able to write all these great songs and compositions. And then he's like, and I went to music school, and he's a genius compared to me. Like he it was cool how humble he was about the whole thing, about Eric Stefani, and just kind of giving kudos to him. I thought that was really rad. So I don't know. Let's play a little bit of Underneath It All, and then we'll get into something else. Sound good?
okay.
All right, here it is. Underneath It All from the No Doubts. Good stuff, man. What do you have lyrically on this song?
Her voice in this song, I swear to God, I will fucking cry. I will sit here and I will cry if you play that one more time. It is so goddamn good. Dare I
voice
say
is
it's even
great.
it is her best vocal performance that she's ever done. I don't even care. I'm gonna say it right now. I take it back.
Yikes.
I said it's one of her best. This is her best. It's unfucking real. It's so breezy. It's so easy. It's so lackadaisical and lazy, but it's
Yeah,
so
it
fucking
is.
beautiful. It's so nice.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. So what do
This
you have
is-
lyrically on this song?
So I mean, most of this is about like Gavin Rossdale. She's with Gavin
Yeah.
Rossdale at this time. They're not married, but they're almost married. So if we take that as like peak relationship, Gwen with Gavin Rossdale, then this is leading up to what would be considered at the time like the best moment of her life, right? Getting married. So this is them. They they're over the moon for each other, and this is like her love song for him. But it's not like a totally gushy, mushy pile of shit. It's kind of cute. and simplicity. It's a little honest. There's parts of this song where she acknowledges that things aren't perfect. But my
Yeah.
God, man, the best part of this song is when she says, like, even when things are bad, they're really not that bad. And that's just like, that's first girlfriend status, dude. That is so fucking high school. That is so like early. Oh my God. I can't even think right now. I'm blushing. Oh God. It's so good. I can't even. That's all I got.
You can't even, yeah.
I can't.
Millennial. You're using that, throwing that millennial thing out there. Yeah.
I'm a millennial. We are millennials, so.
Oh, we are, yeah, I guess so.
What
did they say? Elder millennial?
That
was
so
good.
good.
That was
It's so good.
Yeah, I mean, lyrically, I have the same thing as you do. How much she really loves him and how beautiful of a person he is on the inside, even though sometimes it doesn't seem that way with how he's acting or even she's acting. But you know, he's still a beautiful person.
You know, I will say,
Inside and out.
if we're just, you know what, fuck this, because this album is so goddamn good, and if it wasn't for my other top three, this would just be like this would be their best album. It's crazy. It's crazy that a band can change directions so hard from their biggest album, which is Tragic Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
That's their biggest fucking album. It just straight up is. That is what defined No Doubt, and they changed direction so hard, and they alienated so many of their fans. But I didn't read a lot of like retrospective reviews written by people who originally hated this album and then now come to appreciate it, because both of us really hated this album when it first came out, straight up, and we now love it.
It's true.
So man, like this band put themselves out there so hard, not knowing what is going to happen, and it really didn't work out for him because Gwen did leave the band. I don't know if that was like a band decision, if everyone was kind of cool with it, if the group ran its course. No,
It
but
had
like
to have been her decision.
you can understand when a group runs its course, right? When a band is just done, when a group is like, yeah, we've pretty much exhausted all the things that we wanted to accomplish, and we're kind of done. And I think Rocksteady is like the perfect representation of a band that ran its course, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. This is a band that ran its course, and Gwen kind of like still had it in her, and she did other things outside of this that maybe the band didn't want to do and weren't capable of doing, weren't capable of following her to whatever she had. But I think overall this album theme is insecurity, and I think that is just that is unreal coming from a band in a frontman that has done so much good stuff that puts them like kind of on a pedestal above everybody else. But I think there's a lot of insecurity in this album. I think there's insecurity in her relationships, and like Platinum Blonde Life, there's complete insecurity in the way she presents herself. She's like literally telling us the way I dove into Platinum Blonde Life, which is my 8B, by the way. But the way I dove into Platinum Blonde Life was, this is like her literally saying, I don't know if this is who I am. That whole like knocking on the door thing, that metaphorical knock at the door, that's like, I took that as like reality is knocking at the door, and she's kind of like laying there refusing to answer the door because she doesn't really know if this whole like dyeing her hair blonde thing and the makeup and the crop tops, is that really Gwen Stefani? Or is that just who Gwen Stefani wants to be? Is she really being herself? I think there's a ton of insecurity in this album, and I fucking love it. The more I talk about it, the more I love this album. I'm just saying. I'm getting so giddy right now.
So kind of touching upon Platinum Blonde Life, I think this is the most vulnerable song on the entire record. This is the only time where it kind of takes a more depressive tone, because this is a depressing song. For me, she's talking about her depression and how, you know, it really affects her, but she has to put on a good face to the world, to the media and fans and everything like that. And she's associating the platinum blonde hair, which she was known for on Tragic Kingdom. She has to put that mask on, that wig essentially, to show that she's okay. But deep down, she's not. She's feeling brown, as she says, because she's a natural brunette. She's not a blonde-haired person. And I like the lyrics on that and how vulnerable she is in this particular song.
And it's like we don't know what she feels. Does she think she's Batman, or does she think she's like like Superman, where Superman is Superman and his alter ego is Clark Kent, right? Whereas Batman is like Bruce Wayne, but his alter ego is Batman. Like, did she feel like she's this blonde, face on Tragic Kingdom, and she's pretending to be somebody that she maybe is not, or is she the opposite? Is she that blonde person, but she knows that her roots and people will not accept her because that's not who she really is? I don't know. That's super vulnerable though.
Yeah.
It's scary.
I kind of okay. So kind of associating the lyrics with the music. I feel like because this song is kind of a filler song. This is not a banger for me. I don't think the chorus is very strong. There are some good chicka chickas. Definitely some good chicka chickas in this.
Oh my God, that's funny because I thought this song could do so much better if there were more chicka chickas.
More of them?
I
thought there were
literally
so
wrote.
many.
I said there's a couple parts here that could have been made so much better if they transitioned with more chickas. That's hilarious. That's funny.
All right. So
that's Rick
I feel
Ocasek,
like
man.
I know, right? Yeah. That's another thing. Rick Ocasek, did the song with them from the Cars. But what I was thinking was, it's more of a filler song. It's more of like a rock song. It's not really a No Doubt song. It's showing her insecurity, like kind of going through the motions of putting on the mask and just going out there and going with the flow, not the flow, but going with the, what is it? What's the expression?
Like that kind of going with the flow is fine.
No, but there's another expression. But anyway, but just kind of going through the motions, just kind of going through the motions of that kind of rock star life that she's been used to since Tragic Kingdom. And she's putting kind of like out a mediocre song because that's what everybody wants. Or she's putting out a song with the mask on that everybody wants, but it's not that great. It's a filler song. So that's kind of what I got with Platinum Blonde Life.
It's kind of funny
which I didn't even expect to talk about on this episode.
Huh, that's fine. But remember like the video for what was it? Fucking was it what you waiting for? Yeah, it's for What You Waiting For. She's in the car. It's like the whole skit thing, and she's going to meet her agent, and she's just going through the motions that you said, and it's.
Was that What You're Waiting For?
I think that's What You're Waiting For. Yeah.
It could be. I mean, I don't remember right now.
It's the one where she sings in the beginning. Maybe it's TikTok. I think it's fucking.
That's the same song. That's the same song when she was going tick tock, tick tock.
Yeah, then it's for sure.
And
what
she does that like falsetto thing. Okay, yeah, that's What You're Waiting For.
The
I love
hash pipe
that song. Yeah, I love that fucking song so much. Goddamn. Go listen to that episode. Anybody listening right now, go listen to that Gwen Stefani episode we did because
oh my God, dude.
Damn, that was fun. That was so good.
Literally do Gwen Stefani every week and I would be happy. Don't even care.
All right, do we have anything else on Platinum Blonde Life?
No, and nothing else on underneath at all. Jesus.
Oh, man. Okay, so what is your 2B?
Oh, Making Out.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
that's my 5B. So what do you got on this one?
First of all, love that bass line, right? Fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And this is the fourth track. The first song is just an intro, but it sets up nicely because it's a cohesive album. We get that coda at the end and the outro that brings the intro in. Cool. So Making Out is kind of like the really first really rad bass line that doesn't sound like it's going to be a dance song, but it's fucking badass, man. I love Gwen's delivery. I like the build up on this one. I like the way it climbs constantly, and that chorus.
Mm-hmm.
That chorus is so fucking perfect. This is top notch Gwen
it's
chorus.
pretty damn catchy.
God damn. And then before the second verse, she says, "Here comes another one," and then the song drops in. That's one of my favorite parts of the album. It's just
it's so good.
I get pumped up. I fist pump like I'm fucking The Situation or Pauly D from Jersey Shore.
God. That drum beat though, it is more of a disco beat, which is always catchy. Always catchy. You can't go wrong with that beat. I agree with you with the bass, but is it a bass guitar or is it like the bass being played on a keyboard? Because that's what I thought. It sounds like a keyboard, but I mean, what the fuck do I know?
Well, but like most of the song is very like new wave inspired, and a lot of parts of this album is very new wave inspired. So like, given that this song specifically is very new wave inspired, I would say that that's probably a keyboard.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I wrote it down as. But
even so, even still, if it's a keyboard, we don't.
I'm not
know
knocking
that,
it for it.
But like, we don't know Tony didn't say, "Hey, you should play this." You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then like the keyboardist, or if it was Tony on the keyboard, I don't know. And then they just didn't play the riff that Tony gave him because there's so many fucking people on this album. There's like 100. like a fucking
But it's not just-
congregation.
It's not just that, but like when you look at the credits for this record, like every member, there's like, okay, so the member, so like Gwen, vocals, additional programming, pretty much every song. Tom Dumont, guitar, additional programming, every song. And it was the same for all the 4 main band members. It was, everybody had their main instrument plus additional programming, maybe like guitar or something random here and there. So it's like, it's hard to kind of figure out who played what on which song because there's so much going on. There's so much going on in most of these songs.
There's just so many. There's so many the hands in the pot. And Tony played keyboards, I think, on almost all tracks or all the tracks. And so even like I said, like even if that was a keyboard, like we don't know that it wasn't Tony. So I'm always going to assume that any crazy great bass line is Tony.
Yeah, which is fair. It's fair to think that because he's a fucking amazing bass player. He was from the Disneyland demos up through, I don't remember anything from Push and Shove, but anything up through this record, he's been fantastic. Here's Making Out from the No Doubts.
All right, so like also I have notes here. In any way, shape, or form, did this song remind you of "Fuck the Pain Away" by Peaches?
So no,
way,
I didn't.
The way she sings it, like, did you hear her just
Oh,
jump into
now-
the?
Okay, now I can. Okay, now that you say that, I can totally hear it. That thought that never crossed my mind though prior to
So
this.
stupid.
But do you know what I was thinking? That
What?
that constant like keyboard synth part that that plays through the entire song. Really,
Yeah.
Temporary Secretary. That's like the backbone to that Paul McCartney song "Temporary Secretary," which we recently
I did.
discovered like a month ago. But no, that's what it completely reminded me of. And now that I've listened to this song again, it's definitely a bass playing. It's not the keys, not the keyboard. That's definitely a bass. I don't know why I thought it could have been a keyboard, but that's definitely a bass.
I mean, maybe
But-
it is. I don't know. He played
I think it
keyboards on
is.
a lot of these songs.
I know.
I can't imagine him opting for a keyboard over a bass, though. That's you know what I mean? Like why would he choose?
True.
Oh, I'm going to play the keyboard instead of the bass guitar in this one. I
True.
just don't see him doing that.
But also, that was kind of like the fun and point of this record was to play instruments that you don't normally play.
That's
So I
true. Maybe it
wouldn't-
is a keyboard. I don't know.
I don't know. Who knows? Who fucking knows? They know, but
They
we don't
know.
What do you have lyrically on this one?
Obviously, they fucking know. This one's pretty dope because we're kind of getting two sides of her then relationship with Rosdale.
Mm-hmm.
The verse is sort of
what is your issue with Gavin Rossdale? I don't get it.
Because he couldn't make it work. Okay, she deserves someone that can make it work. I don't like Blake Shelton's music. I think it's trash. But I love Blake Shelton because he's making it work. That's it.
Oh my god,
What? That's it.
I don't know. Why, I still don't know why you don't like Gavin Rossdale.
I
There's
just
two
told
sides
you.
to every story. There's two sides to every story.
The point
don't
is,
know
I don't
Gavin's
want to
side?
hear. I don't want to hear. I don't fucking care what Gavin's side is. Are you kidding me? Are you joking my ass right now? I don't care what his fucking side is. Shit.
But why?
Because Gwen is perfect. Gwen is God. Gwen is God.
Well,
G-I-G. Gig. I'm gonna call it Gig. Gwen is God. Don't forget Gig.
Gig,
Gwen
don't
is God.
forget.
Don't forget Gig. Okay. Make sure it's a Gig, which is Gwen's face.
Oh, man.
Terrible.
This
Terrible.
conversation is stupid.
The you asked the verses
Yeah, gig.
the verses here sort of deal with like the day to day of missing her boo, right? While the
Oh,
chorus is more like the giddy, lighthearted approach to like reuniting. And I
Yeah.
also like the usage of making out, the double entendre, literally making out by sucking face, right? But also
Yeah.
like pulling through the hardships of touring to surviving as a couple, which they didn't, but like making it as a couple, make it out.
God,
Solid.
you were just so critical of this guy.
I go, fuck.
Jeez.
You break my girl's heart, break your face. I'm
She
like
probably
Vin
broke
Diesel
his
from.
heart. Who
I'm
knows?
no, she didn't. That's no way. She doesn't know wrong. Gig. Don't forget Gig. Did you forget
Gig.
You've already
I-
forgot
I-
Gig. You
I-
already forgot
I-
Gig.
I can never forget Gig.
Don't forget Gig.
Can't forget Gig.
I'm like Vin Diesel in the first Fast and the Furious movie when he's talking to Paul Walker. When
So
Paul
terrible?
Walker first, dude, you're overcooking my grits. I'll tell you that much right now. when Vin Diesel first sees Paul Walker like eyeballing his sister, he says, "You break her heart, I'll break your face."
The fact that you said I'm overcooking your grits to quoting a Vin Diesel line from the first Fast and Furious is unreal. I never thought we'd get to this point.
I'm just saying, I get defensive. I get defensive.
God damn, that was stupid. I'm exhausted. That just exhausted me right there.
That exhausted me. That was my 2B. What is your 2B?
Oh man, my my 2B is in my head, in my yed. What does this one sit for you? Ah, dude, I hate that song so much.
Stop.
I hate
Take
that
it
song
easy.
so much. I hate
just-
Zombie from the Cranberries so much. Is it Cranberries, right?
Yeah.
Ah, I hate that song fucking so much.
Zombie. That's
And then
not
she goes,
right.
like she's throwing up. Fucking
That's what Tom
terrible.
DeLonge fucking sounds like half the time.
But Tom DeLonge sounds so fucking cool when he does it.
Oh, can you sound
Cranberries
cool, Troy?
girl, she's
Okay.
stupid. I think she just died, didn't she die a couple years ago?
It's fucked up. Too soon. Too
Yeah,
soon.
whatever. Tom DeLonge's better.
Maybe she'll come back as a zombie. Okay.
That's stupid.
Yeah, in my head. That's my 4B. That's my 4B.
Okay. So in my head, I kind of like the circus kind of sound thing going on here. Normally I hate it, but they do it really well for some reason. It's not stupid and campy. I mean, they've kind of been doing that since the early days, since the first record and the stuff prior to that record. So they kind of throw that in there with some cool synth sounding drums. They're obviously playing like an electronic drum kit, hitting those fills going into the different parts. I thought that was really kind of. It normally sounds stupid, but it sounds really cool when they do it for whatever reason. Overall, though, the song kind of just bounces along really nicely. The minimal use of the upstroke guitar was really great. Like it was perfectly placed in there. It was never too much. It was just a nice balance of it all, and I really like that. And then the chorus, one of the catchiest parts on this entire record. It really is. That chorus is so fucking good, and the backup vocals of her own voice, kind of layered on top of it, was fantastic because it kind of goes along with the lyrics where she's kind of talking to herself. She's in her own head, so it's like it's her main voice, but then the voices are talking back at her, and it's very subtle, but it's very well done, very well placed, well written. I love this song. This is a really good song.
I really, really, really like the way she says head, like right before the chorus. Right.
Okay.
Right. Like I don't know, the way she says heads in the my head chorus part. I think is fantastic. I like that the last part of the song is a little bit different. I always appreciate that, like changing it up before you end it. But this intro is boss, man. I love that bass line. I love that instrumental part. I like how the bass line builds and gets a little bit more aggressive, but it's super subtle. It's super tiny. He knows not to take over the song.
It just shows he's a great musician. Tony is a great musician, great bass player, great songwriter, honestly.
I think Tony, and this is kind of a knock to Gwen. I'm not forgetting Gig.
You can knock her.
Okay, I'm not forgetting Gig.
Forget
I'm
Gig.
just gonna knock her a
Forget
little bit.
Gig.
I'm not forgetting. I'd never forget Gig. Don't forget Gig. But I think
Gig.
that Gwen is incredibly blessed. We'll say blessed because it'll probably get us more likes.
Dude,
if we
you're
say
throwing
blessed.
out these no-no lists.
That's not on the
stuff,
no-no list
words.
yet. Blessed is not on the no-no list.
It isn't?
I don't
Are
think
you
blessed
sure?
is. It should be, but it's not there.
It should be. I'll put it on the no-no list later.
Yeah, Gwen should be incredibly blessed by being surrounded by people that are so good at their instruments that they're able to, man, for lack of a better like phrasing, they're able to dumb down their parts to supplement her, to build her up, and that sounds
build
like a
her up,
knock to
okay.
everybody, but I think that
It sounds like
that
more like a knock to Gwen, but
it is a knock to Gwen, and again, I'm not forgetting Gig, but I think that Gwen is just I think she has
Can't
this,
get over
like she
that.
had this she had this untapped potential that everybody just wanted her to become better and better and better, and she finally did. And she still seems pretty super fucking humble about everything. Like she's not like a douchebag at all. I think that's what's so great about her. That's why she's God.
I would agree with you. You know that she still seems to be very humble. I wouldn't say she's Gig, but yeah, no, she does still seem very humble. Like she never really has anything bad to say about the No Doubt days ever, but yeah, she's
People still
definitely
try
not
to, like
the.
shit on her all the fucking time. She just did a music video where she wrote that like rat tail, and I don't know, people like thought she was appropriating some culture. I can't remember any of it because
Oh,
it's
like-
bullshit. Because Gwen's the greatest.
Wait, was it Native American culture? I don't know. I don't remember. People have been saying
Something,
she's
I
been
don't know.
appropriating cultures for decades now.
Yeah, since the Harajuku days.
Yeah, the
Since
heritage.
the
Yeah,
Lamb
that-
days.
I thought maybe there was something with the No Doubt where I guess you could say she was appropriating like Jamaican culture or something like that.
Well, like she did like
Rastafarian.
the I don't know if it's specific because my history. I haven't brushed up my fucking world history in ever. But like, remember the dot she used to wear in her forehead, like the little like the
Oh yeah,
the,
in the
the
in
Hindu dot
Tragic
thing,
Kingdom
remember?
days. Yeah,
Yeah.
she did. Yeah, that you can say yeah, she's
But again, I don't know if that's like specific to Hindu culture. I have no idea.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about
I
that.
took one history course in my life and I hated it. It was boring as fuck. Human history is not exciting at all.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. You're wrong, but that's fair.
So
all
many
right,
things have happened.
so so I'm gonna play a little bit of "In My Head" from No Doubt. So here it is. Enjoy. There you go. "In My Head" from No Doubt.
It's so hard to hit those high notes and make your voice crack and not have it be annoying. And she does it flawlessly. Every time.
You're right. You're right. You are right about that.
This
So what do you got
this song
lyrically on this
really-
one?
This song really reminds me of the song "Illumination" by Gogo Bordello, the one that builds kind of dun 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 dun.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Remember that song?
Yes, I
Kind of
do.
like the same build up to it. I dig.
I can hear that. I would have never made that connection, but I can hear it.
But I
Okay.
I thought the song was just about, and again, like her insecurities in her relationship.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That's it.
definitely. That's what I got too, and how she doesn't like hearing about the her significant other's past, and talking about happier times before he met her, the insecurities behind that, and how it's all in her head. How even though she knows that he loves her, it still bothers her a lot. So
I take it back. Earlier, I said the main theme of this album is like insecurity. I think it's vulnerability.
that works.
Because I think there's a little bit of a difference between the two, and I think that's ultimately what's happening here is she's just being vulnerable, and that's ballsy, man. That's ballsy, right? She's on top of the world. I'm talking about Gwen Stefani here. She's gig.
No, I wouldn't go that far. So then,
Gig,
what's
baby.
your 3B? Your 3B was "Hey Baby," right?
Hey baby, hey baby with my 3B.
Oh my God, dude, you're the worst.
What are you talking about? That's a fantastic fucking song. Are you fucking insane?
It's fine. It's fine.
On the birthday. Bah, bah,
Went to my high school.
bah,
Is it
bah,
good?
bah, bah. It's like burps. Yeah, I just
It does.
what is I mean my
We
only other
already
high,
talked about it.
yeah my,
What?
my only high B is just hella good. That's my 5B. I like it. I think it's fine.
Okay, I mean, I'm just kind of going through my B's real quick.
Hella good's cool because it's just an easy 2-note
So-
song. This is like a kind of like a reggae jam song. It's cool.
So, "Hella Good" is my 3B, by the way. So
That is
I
I
did
do
we
not
go-
understand that.
we got to talk about Hella Good, and then there's another song, Waiting Room, which I think we should touch upon because Prince co-wrote that song,
Yeah,
and
and he's on the song.
He's on the song. He sings on it. He co-wrote it, and that song was originally written and recorded for Return of Saturn, but it didn't make that record, and they ended up putting it on this one, which is kind of a standout song for this record, and really honestly for Return of Saturn. So I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's a good song though.
What-
It's still good. It's my Waiting Room is my 4B.
Oh wow, I did not expect that. That is an okay song to me.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Are you a big fan? Do you like Prince music? Do you like?
I
mean,
No,
Hidden
obviously
1999.
no. I'm not a big fan of Prince really at all. But I understand he's a great musician and especially a great guitar player. He really is.
yeah, no, he's definitely a top guitar player for sure.
But I don't like his songs that much.
I don't either, just because they're hypersexual and you kind of like pigeonhole yourself. In my eyes, when you write these hypersexual songs, you pigeonhole yourself into a certain category, and it's kind of just like, okay. Well, if I don't relate
But
to this immediately, then I don't care.
But they're also just very kind of like jumpy and kind of like staccato kind of sounding. His songs are, and it's just like, and
My problem
his
with this
voice
one
is
is
so high. I don't know.
it starts off aggressive. And we think that there's going to be
Mhm.
some type of drop later on, and we think it's going to go somewhere, and it teases kind of like this drop, and it never gets there. But
Yeah,
that's not a bad thing, because as long as you can supplement that lack of a drop, that lack of a relief, with a good middle ground, then I'm fine with it. But I don't think the middle ground is good here.
that's fair. That's fair. I see. I agree with you. It does start out like it's a heavy hitting song at the beginning. It has that heavy electronic drum beat. Tony's bass line comes along, and it's honestly really really great. And then behind that all is like some subtle synth stuff that actually reminds me a lot of Postal Service. A lot of the stuff that they were doing on the Give Up record, especially The District Sleeps Alone Tonight. There's some like nuances in that song that remind me of this song Waiting Room, which I thought was really cool, but it doesn't really pay off. Like you were saying, it doesn't really pay off like the Postal Service stuff does, or a lot of other songs do. But it's still a good song. I really like it, and I feel like his voice meshes really well with Gwen's.
Yes.
I really, really liked it. I mean, their
agree there,
voices
too.
together would have been. Their voices together is fantastic. Like hearing, like say Prince were to put out a record where it was like not a duet, but like a record with Gwen, that could just be, that could have been fucking phenomenal. Because I feel like their voices could have meshed so well because her voice is so unique, and his voice is pretty unique too, but really only because he sings so high. But together they could have been, a record with them two could have been really cool.
This is the song that like her interview with Howard Stern, she was really really like humble about it, and it was kind of cool to see like a huge artist still get butterflies when working with other essentially legends at this point.
Yeah,
And she was just like, Howard Stern asked her, like, he did, like, were you nervous? She's like, fuck yeah, I was nervous. Like, I'm working with Prince. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm a nobody. It's like, dude, you're not a nobody, man. Like, come on. That's Gwen, baby. That's Gwen.
She's humble.
That's gig right there. That's gig. just telling you.
Can't get over how stupid that is. Like it's not even that clever. It's so stupid.
It's so good. It's so good. I want to make sure anybody can buy them from me if they want to.
Oh god.
I'll wear them all. I don't care.
All
But yeah,
right, so-
I agree. I think their vocal parts layer nicely, even though they kind of had the same style and sound, but for just whatever reason, man. But I think that's him. I think that's him coming in just with experience in general and knowing how to supplement her. And from that interview too, she said that she had written a lot of this song, and Prince somehow got involved, and he called his bouncer or his bodyguard to give the phone to Gwen, and then when she got on the phone, he was like, "Yeah, that song you gave me," and she's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, I rewrote the entire thing," and she was just like, "Okay." Because what do? You give a song to Prince and he says, "I rewrote the whole thing." Like, would you say no? Like, no, you say, "Of course, yeah."
That'd be such a cool like fuck you to anybody. Like that would be like I'd give her a lot of respect if she said no. That's ridiculous. That would have been cool. That would have been cool though.
But you can't say no to like your idols because she idolizes him vocally. Like clearly, she takes a lot of stuff from Prince books.
Yeah.
And I agree. I don't like every time I hear Prince sing, all I hear is that song "Kiss." That you don't have to be like. It's just it's annoying. I can't stand it.
Or when doves cry. Yeah.
It's annoying. But like everything else is great. But that's annoying. I don't care. Whatever. Gwen is God. Gig baby. Don't forget.
Gig baby. Lyrically, what do you got?
Gig
I mean,
baby,
it's
gig
pretty
baby.
follows in theme with the rest of the record. But
Yeah. This is just a sexual love song.
yeah, being in love with a guy. Well, she's willing to wait for him until he comes to her, and yeah, kind of very high school head over heels kind of thing going with that song.
Shapoopy.
Shapoopy.
Yeah,
Is that what
Shapoopy. Yeah. You know Shapoopy?
yeah, from Family Guy. Is that what you're referring to?
You're right. It wasn't Family Guy, but that's actually from a musical.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Fucking shit, dude.
A girl
You're
that'll
the
kiss in the
musical
very
guy.
first date is usually a hussy, but a girl that'll wait till the second
okay.
time around is anything but fussy. I think it's a guy, actually. No, it's a girl. But a girl that'll wait till the third time around, head in the clouds, feet on the ground. That's girl you glad you found. She's my Shapoopy. Come on. You know Shapoopy? Jesus.
What musical is that from?
I don't remember.
You do not remember, but you're the musical guy.
You're right. That's a fail on my part.
Well, we've all
I'm
been there.
embarrassed.
We've all been
I'm
there,
embarrassed.
except for me. All right, my my 3B, my third banger. I think I mean honestly, unless you want to talk about anything else, we could wrap it up after this song. But hella good,
Yeah.
hella good. Second single from this record. They had
Boom,
I
boom,
thought was a
boom, boom.
massively huge
Boom, boom.
or massive video for this one where they're driving on jet skis. They're spray
Video's
painting
stupid.
ships. It's a terrible video.
Fucking
Fuck,
dumb,
man.
dude.
It's a really dumb video, but they played it so much on MTV and VH1. But yeah, hella good. I hated it. I fucking hated this song when it came out. I really, really despised this song. And it took me until honestly this week to realize, wow, this is an absolute fucking banger. I mean, this is truly a pop masterpiece right here. The vocal melody, the structure of the song, it's a simple verse chorus structure, but the way that they transition in between the two of them and the heavy hitting drums, they're so simple, but just the tone of the drums with the heavy synth, the kind of subtle guitar playing, everything is just so perfectly balanced. But the synth, the chorus where the synth meets Gwen's voice is just perfection. I think this song is just an absolute pop banger through and through.
Here is the best part of this song. And this is my 5B, okay? So I'm not saying this because I hate this song. I fucking love this song. But my favorite part of this song is Gwen's and it goes
She's
back
panting.
and forth in the channels. Like if you listen
Yeah.
with headphones on, oh my God. It goes back and forth in the channels and it's to die for. It's to die for. It's so good. I love that so much. It's fantastic. Yeah,
And then when
okay.
yeah.
So first of all, we're starting off with like the bass slide, right? We're kicking the song off with that heavy bass tones,
Boom, 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 boom.
and then when the guitar first comes in, dude, it drops hard. This is like one of the hardest that Tom has ever dropped into any No Doubt song ever. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's aggressive.
And it's so simple too. It's so simple. Everything about this song is simple. There's nothing fussed over, nothing complicated. This is truly a pop production type of song. I love it.
This is a perfect dance song. This one has
Oh,
a lot of like subtle rock steady the genre, like undertones. There's a lot of stuff in this album in general. It's not just the name of the album, but there's a lot of this. So like Rocksteady is a precursor to reggae, which is a precursor to ska music. So Rocksteady was in between ska and reggae. And the difference between the three is, like, again, super fucking subtle. It's easier to understand with a band than it is to watch that famous Bob Marley the video where you know what the fuck he's saying half the time. But there's a lot of like rocksteady undertones to this album. There's a lot of reggae undertones to this album. And there's a lot of ska stuff here that is still reminiscent of their early days. And I think Hella Good has all of that, but then also has Gwen's kind of like prowess at just being a good pop star.
I think you're right.
Perfect.
I think you're totally right. The melody is so solid. And then when you watch the video, when she's singing the chorus in the video, she's on the jet ski and she's like standing in the back. She's like waving her arms around. Like it just, everything is so perfectly in sync with the video. And the video, like we said, the video is fucking stupid.
It's terrible.
But man, that melody is it's so strong. I never realized until this week how strong of a melody it is. It's great. So I'm gonna play a little bit of Hella Good. We'll talk about, you know, the kind of the writing of it, production of it, lyrics a little bit, and then we'll wrap it up. Sound good?
It sounds good.
All right, so here it is, Hella Good from the No Doubts. There you go, Hella Good from No Doubt. There's so much going on in this song that I never fucking realized. It makes me so mad that I've never picked up on it. This song is fucking amazing.
I've been telling you for a while, this album's pretty fucking good. I'm just saying.
I know. I know. I had this hatred for it when it came out, and I just never wanted to go back to it. But there's a lot going on this record. It's stupid. It's fucking stupid.
Before we close it out, even what do you think about using the intro and then going to like that? I think it's called a coda, using prior parts to a musical piece, incorporating it at the end of a piece. What do you think about using the intro into the outro of Rocksteady itself, the title track? Do you like it? Did you notice it? Did you know it was happening?
I didn't really notice
Gotcha.
it. No.
So the intro is literally just like two lines, right? It's just
yeah.
It's
kind of like a chant. Yeah.
Yeah. So like Rocksteady, the outro, it's its own song, but it uses that intro and incorporates it into the song as an outro. So, like the intro is it's about like it's just how true love thrives in the face of adversity. And it does so in a cute way because using the word rock steady as both a genre of music and saying true love survives even during rocky times, right? Rock steady. That thing is cool. That's the intro. We go to the outro here after going through the entire album of insecurities, of highs and lows, of questioning her relationship, of also professing her love for Gavin Rossdale. Now we have the outro of Rock Steady. Again, hit it with that coda thing, I think you said. But in the beginning, she says like the true love will survive in the face of adversity. But then like playing along into the insecurities of half of these songs. Rocksteady itself is my 6B because of the way it's written. This is one of the greatest things Gwen has ever written. If she wrote this song, I don't know. Just because of the way she's now like incorporated a concept. And this is sort of a concept album. It flows in sort of a way, you know, it goes in and out of things, but it really like Rocksteady really solidifies it as a concept album of going into let's take this entire album. Let's take this entire album as like a thought, right? You're laying in bed, you're about to fall asleep, and you think, boom, I'm now in a relationship. I think we can survive it. And then every song subsequent after the intro, you know, Hella Good, Detective, all these songs that Don't Start the Fire, your favorite song, Running, I don't know why. But all these songs are kind of like, all these songs are exploring these themes of insecurity, of vulnerability, and Rocksteady's really hammering it home of, yes, we are going to survive, but even if we don't, it's fine, because I'm happy.
Okay.
I don't know. I think this album is better than. Man, I think this album as a whole is one of the best things No Doubt's ever done. But like individually, obviously, it's just not. It's not up to par. Because they've never done anything close to a concept album in any way, shape, or form.
No, they have not. But even then, I mean, I kind of get what you're saying, but I can't really see this as a concept record.
There's no song on this album that isn't about either insecurity, vulnerability, some type of love song, or something that deals with all three.
But that's not really a concept record because it has to be sequenced in a certain way to make it a concept record.
But it is sequenced because the intro leads into all of these songs that explore these different facets of her relationship. And then it ends with
okay.
Rocksteady, which goes back to the intro, but then kind of incorporates like, I feel better now that I've talked this out. I've thought
But
this out.
then-
I've
but
thought
then,
this
like,
through.
Platinum Blonde Life really throws a wrench in the whole thing because that's the song that doesn't really apply lyrically.
I disagree. Platinum Blonde Life solidifies it. Platinum Blonde Life is the most insecure we have ever seen Gwen, either
Well,
in
it is,
music
but
or in real life.
You're right, but it doesn't apply in the context of this record, which is primarily about her love life or about somebody she's in love with. You know, it's more of a personal thing with her own personal insecurities rather than her insecurities with a significant other or her passion for another person.
But then don't forget what follows Platinum Blonde Life is the most like overtly sexual, straightforward song. Is a very like fuck it, this is who I am. And right before Platinum Blonde Life, in my head, again another song about her insecurities and relationships. We're building up to this thing where the before the last song, in Rocksteady isn't really considered a song. It's more of just like a overture.
It's just
I
a
guess.
ballad, like a dub sounding ballad.
But
in
it's
parts.
not like a song. It's just an outro. If we consider
Yeah,
Rocksteady
yeah.
as an outro, it's what it is, an outro. Waiting Room is kind of like the last song, and so Waiting Room is this overly sexual love song, and we get like one of the most sexualized musicians ever, right? Prince.
Yeah.
Now we have Prince
true.
coming in to solidify all of Gwen's problems and say, yeah, you're fine. Don't worry about it. And then we get the outro. So we had this build up. All the first 10 tracks are just build up. Like, I feel bad about this. I'm insecure about this. I feel weird about this. I don't like this. But then it's like, well, this is who I am. Outro. Boom. Done. Concept.
Okay, that's fair. That's
Gig.
totally fair.
Gig.
Gig, no. All right, so let's give our final thoughts on this record, and then give our rating based off of our world famous 3-point rating system. Where three is a perfect album, 2 is a good album you're going to continue to listen to, 1 is a bad album, give it a shot, and 0 is the worst thing you've ever heard. So what do you got, Jeff? Go.
I really didn't pick up on the concept part of it until I was actually talking about it, but it really does make sense. And I do think that there's a lot there inside of Gwen. I think she's better at this time than even she thinks that she was. And so I think there's a lot of really mature writing and not just like words, right? Like the sequencing of this, I think is great because we're exploring a lot of different facets of her psyche, of her id, of her superego, of her ego. And I think it's fine. We don't always have to have like a band play all the instruments and fucking write all the music and fucking play the same thing. Who gives a fucking shit? God damn, dude. Reading all these reviews online, all these little cuck balls sacked over there on the internet saying, oh, I don't like No Doubt on this album because they had too many people producing and they had other musicians. They're not a band anymore. Man, fuck you. Okay, guy.
Okay, guy.
Fucking,
Okay, guy.
I actually wrote down one of the usernames on one of the websites, but it would literally mean nothing if I said it, so I'm not going to read it. But this is great. This is a great album. I really don't have anything ever negative to say about Gwen Stefani. So I mean, it's not a perfect album because all the songs here aren't perfect and they're not all
you're
great. But this is a solid 2.5, man. This is a
Woo!
solid 2.5.
That is high. That is very high. Wow.
Yep.
Okay, I'm surprised.
Yep.
Fucking surprised. My final thoughts, like I said, I hadn't listened to this record in probably at least 15 years. Going back to it, I was pleasantly surprised. I could not believe how nuanced this record was, how much every member was actually involved with the making of it. Yes, I understand there were extra songwriters, extra producers here and that, but in this instance, I was totally okay with it because of how this album was recorded. It wasn't a disjointed effort. It was a very much collaborative effort, not only within the band, but with other songwriters. Like they were just it was a giant hangout session for probably, I think it was like 9 months or something like that, 6 months or
Yeah.
something. It was just having a good time, and it shows on this record, because this record is a ton of fun musically. Lyrically, yes, because Gwen, it was her ups and downs of a long distance relationship, but outside of that, this is a great collaborative record, and that's something that they've always prided themselves in, and I totally dig that. Like, they just do this kind of thing so well, and I love how they just decided to say it was just a huge fuck you to the record industry, to everybody who liked Tragic Kingdom, and I wish I wouldn't have slept on this record, because it really is a solid record. So I guess with that being said and everything else we've talked about in this episode,
Here we go.
I'm going to have to give this record a 2 out of 5 out of 3, 2.5 out of 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Solid.
What
Good.
would you think I was going to give it?
Well, because you said 2 out of 5 out of 3, and then I was confused for a second.
Oh yeah,
But
I
you
know.
just-
But then I corrected myself.
Okay.
Yeah, 2.5 out of 3.
Solid. I think it's solid. That's great. That's a fucking
Yeah.
phenomenal ranking.
It's by far, yeah, like you said, by far it's not perfect, but there's a lot of rad shit on here. A lot of rad stuff, and just sonically and production wise, I think it's a great pop. But honestly, it's a great pop record, because it really when you really break it down, it is a pop record with a lot of
Yeah.
cool things happening in the background and everything like that.
It's a pop record written by musicians. So that's
There you
That's
go. Yeah, there you go. So, have we got any? Do we have anything else on Rocksteady and No Doubt? Anything like that?
that's it.
All
That's
right.
it. Rocksteady and Bebop. We're done.
Great villains. Great villains.
Fucking worst films ever. Did nothing.
Best villains. Thank you all for listening to the podcast. Go to Apple Podcast, Spotify. Give us 5 stars and 5 stars only. And yeah, you know the rest. That's it. That's all.
Shaboy.
What about
Man,
Stockholm
dumb.
Syndrome?
Yeah, there's only one Stockholm Syndrome song I listen to. I'll tell you that much right now. I don't hear nothing
Because
about
you're a
it.
fucking cuck, that's why. We're going to be getting into Rocksteady, so that should be interesting.
Feeling
Definitely be
good,
interesting.
so I'll just keep on dancing. Do, 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 do.
Wow, okay.
That was hella good Sunday morning.
I know, I was going to say that didn't sound anything like hella good. But I didn't want to embarrass you and
Oh,
call you
so
out on
good.
it.
That was so good. That was hella good. I'm like Vin Diesel in the first Fast and the Furious movie when he's talking to Paul Walker. When
So
Paul
terrible?
Walker first, dude, you're overcooking my grits. I'll tell you that much right now. when Vin Diesel first sees Paul Walker like eyeballing his sister, he says, "You break her heart, I'll break your face."
The fact that you said I'm overcooking your grits to quoting a Vin Diesel line from the first Fast and Furious is unreal. I never thought we'd get to this point. Or does this one sit for you? Ah, dude, I hate
Don't
hate that
stop,
song so
stop.
I hate
Take
that
it
song
easy.
so much. I hate
just-
Zombie from the Cranberries so much. Is it Cranberries, right?
Yeah.
Ah, I hate that song fucking so much.
Zombie. That's
And then
not
she goes,
right.
like she's throwing up. Fucking
That's what Tom
terrible.
DeLonge fucking sounds like half the time.
But Tom DeLonge sounds so fucking cool when he does it.
And this is kind of a knock to Gwen. I'm not forgetting
You
Gig.
can knock her.
Okay, I'm not forgetting Gig.
Forget
I'm just
Gig.
gonna knock her a
Forget
little bit.
Gig.
I'm not forgetting. I'd never forget Gig. Don't forget Gig.
It's fine. It's fine.
On the birthday. Bah, bah,
Went to my high school.
bah,
Good.
bah, bah, bah. It's like burps.